Happy Thursday! Welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio running the show here at the Gruber offices. One call, That's All Studios downtown at the 3rd Street Market Hall. Alex G holding it down at the Everlight Solar Studios downtown off the Capitol Square in Madison. And Homer sticks around with us here. Homer and Tony weekdays 2 to 4.
Yeah, you do.
On 94.5.
Yes, you do.
You said you wanted me to stick around. I don't know why.
If you had to guess, and I mentioned it's because of a tweet.
They're all so good, it's hard to pick one over the other. I don't know.
Shut up, Josh.
Homer is a great tweeter. I just told him that off the air. One of my favorite follows.
Yeah.
Ben, not a great tweeter. You're not great on Twitter. You're better on the air than you are on Twitter, I would say.
Thanks. I should be better on Twitter. Homer.
Not necessarily. I don't know. Yes.
You can't be a Packer fan if you're rooting for Aaron Rodgers to do well next year.
Yeah, correct. It's a no-brainer. I don't know how hard that is. It hurts the Packers.
It does, but being a fan, Homer, means you can be irrational.
No, not you can't be a fan of a team and want something that hurts the team. That's not possible.
Well, a lot of people wanted them to trade Aaron Rodgers, which actually, I mean, you could say hurts the team, but people just didn't like him as a person. So are they not Packers fans?
No. They're hating Rodgers fans. Anything you do that now, the only time you could necessarily, if you thought, and you want to say this, like, I rooted for the Packers, and when Bart Starr was the head coach, I wanted them to lose.
But
I felt that the team would be better off for him to lose and get fired because they never were going to do anything great. So if you have that feeling about Rodgers or something that you think it's in the best interest of the team.
So if you think Rodgers being great will lead to Goody getting fired quicker, you're saying that's an acceptable reason to root for Aaron Rodgers. But then you are stating on Twitter or whatever, I hate Goody, the team needs to get rid of him, and anything that helps that, then that's fine.
I just want to make sure you're okay with that because I think Gutekunst and the front office are inept. And so Aaron Rodgers having a great season and potentially doing something with the Jets that is something they haven't done in 12 years to make the playoffs and potentially, we're living in fantasy land right now. They win the Super Bowl. It shows you how inept trading Devontae Adams was and then Aaron Rodgers and moving on to this plan right now where we got Matt LaFleur acting like a tough guy, having them do push-ups and up-downs after the second practice of the season.
If you think Goody is horrific and is preventing the Packers from ever being good, you can take that position.
I think his personal hatred towards Rodgers blinded him in his decision-making and his personal relationship building with him to keep him around, which I think will show to be a bad move.
Okay. I mean, it's your hate for Goody, I would think, would go deeper if you think he's that bad. You would assess all the things.
Well, do you want to talk about the defense, the 8 first-round picks?
I'm willing to accept whatever. You're the one with the opinion that he's terrible, so.
Maybe I am better on the air than a tweeter. I should have tweeted this.
Yes, you should have. Yes. It's a really hard thing to do. I know what it felt like when people go like, you're rooting against Bart Starr? I thought you're a Packer fan. Hey, if you think something's bad, and there have been situations for various teams in that situation, have been better off if they got rid of him, It'd have been great if Don Morton's Wisconsin team would have lost every game. And that's how the position some had, and it worked out great. I also think, though, that there is, like, if Aaron Rodgers gets into the playoffs, and you're talking about the difference between him picking, the Packers picking 25 or 32, it's not that big of a difference. So if you grew up as a lifelong Aaron Rodgers fan, I can understand why somebody would want to see him have success because the drop-off from like 5 picks down isn't that significant. But still more significance than him playing for another team. The hell? But you're not on the Packers. I don't care what he does.
So the emotional connection that you had with
he's dead.
His heart's done.
Right. Now,
there's no rehabilitation at this point.
For example, if there was no picking a draft pick at all involved, and someone says, then that's fine. They're rooting for Aaron Rodgers. So then, that's fine. You like him, or that's fine. It doesn't. This hurts the Packers to some degree. So rooting for them to win the Super Bowl in 2024 because it's so obvious Rodgers is going to play 2 years now. You're saying that's. Okay. Next year, you still hold your Packers fandom in Homer's book. But how you can't root for him in 2020. Right. How you treat other former Packers is just being a fan of anything. You're a fan of the person, that's fine. But when it affects the Packers, and this does, then you're just wrong.
At what point were you rooting against Marquette when you were calling the games to get Wojo out of there and move to Shaka Smart?
Whoa.
I never was that way. I will say this. I have never called them the Golden Eagles. Ever.
Huh. What do you call them?
Marquette. We are Marquette. That's what Marquette fans call them. We are Marquette. That's the strongest thing. And that's what I call them.
It's weird aside.
No, it's not. I mean, look, it's another strong take.
It's a strong take, but I don't feel like I have to be against anything because I don't think Marquette people view themselves as the Golden Eagles. Their greatest cheer is "We are Marquette," or as someone does it, "We are," and then you yell Marquette.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
No, but that's the cheer. It's not, whatever the Badgers one is that mentions Badgers. I don't know.
Eat bleep.
Pat from Madison says, Ben, we don't need another Twitter fiasco from your takes. Is he referring to the time you got Paul Chris fired?
No.
Did you get Paul Chris fired? Wow, I didn't know you were that important.
I hate that. The one thing that I want off my resume
Did he
forever.
get Paul Chris fired?
You don't remember his rant last year?
Yeah, kind of, but I never meant thought that's what got him fired. I thought we had breaking news here.
It made too many circles around people close to the program that I'm not saying I did it. I'm saying it was heard.
I think one thing got Paul Chris fired.
Losing to Illinois.
No, Chris McIntosh.
Well, it's obviously what that conversation was with McIntosh.
Well, yeah, what McIntosh.
Everybody in the know will say that they went into a conversation that Mac did not plan to fire Chris and ended up leaving that conversation with Mac firing
Oh,
Chris.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
whatever happened in that conversation.
They watched Benny's rant.
Well, but I mean, that's
they watched it together.
Yeah.
This is how I feel.
I didn't know the kind of AD that Chris McIntosh was.
I mean, he
Now we do.
put him on the table.
Now we do.
Now we do.
Now we do.
Absolutely. Are you good?
I'm good.
Are you guys good? Same page now?
You can see yourself
So,
out.
well, fine. Well, no, like I'm a kid. Like you can see yourself out. I just want to know that I have this right. That you are in the position that you want the Packers to fail as badly as possible because that will quicken the process of Goody leaving.
Yes, and Aaron Rodgers being successful will also show that like his lack of forming a relationship with him to make it work on a professional and personal level hurt the ultimate 1265 building.
All right. Next.
Homer, why were you all dressed up today? I saw
You remember that jacket?
Your
I wore
auctioneer
that jacket
jacket.
at the Sports Awards.
We have the camera now, and we're promoting YouTube, and I thought maybe you need to have some pizzazz with what you wear or look.
I love that.
Because you're on camera.
Yeah?
That's the only thing I got. Now I got to go to plan 2.
Toupees.
It's too bad.
It's the toupees.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yes.
It is such a good
and I
idea,
have
Josh.
2 different toupees. I have one green one and one white one. Yes. Toupees. Thank you.
You bet.
Do you charge for that?
No, that's free.
Okay.
We also, maybe we should take up the strategy on Scalzo and Brust because Josh DiMaggio is going to be getting some tattoos soon.
I will be getting a Homer tattoo.
Yeah. Now, the difficulty tomorrow was we're on remote, free beer from 2 to 4. Have you guys ever had free beer for an appearance?
We've never had free beer.
I can't. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Yes.
2 hours on a Friday afternoon.
I said, even if you don't like the show, I would go there.
Are you mocking him right now? Because of course we've gotten free beer.
No, I don't think you promoted free beer at an appearance
It's free
for 2
beer
hours.
for everybody. It's not free beer for Homer.
Right.
Wow, that's quite a deal.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever done, we've definitely had a lot of deals that where you've been,
But you had to pay.
but somebody had to pay.
This is like when the Cleveland Browns won a playoff
Yes.
game and everyone got free beer.
Well, no, the key one was beer. I think it was dime beer, like either Cleveland or Texas. Whatever. They had to stop it. I don't know if they did it at some point, but it ended because
2 to 4. Maddie's in New Berlin,
yeah,
correct?
Are you Ubering?
no, I can't drink.
He's on the show.
I'm on the show. I asked.
Oh, it's
that.
only from 2
How
to
are
4.
you so confused by this right now?
It's making me mad.
Like you've
Okay,
you've
I'll-
seen the ad. You heard
I'll
me
leave.
complain.
It's getting ugly. I'll leave.
Ben heard me complain, Homer. Homer, you'll love this. Ben heard me complain that when that first went out, when we first started promoting it, it was this long, convoluted tweet and an image, and nowhere did it just say the words free beer. And I went on a tirade that Ben heard me go on a tirade about that all we needed to say is free beer, Homer and Tony this time.
Free beer. I heard him say that.
And he's still confused.
I didn't realize this till right now. He gets you mad sometimes. Like right
You
now.
didn't realize that?
No. Mad. I don't know what the word is.
Frustrated.
Whatever. But you have that look.
Yes.
Almost like a parent look.
Yes.
What the hell is going on here?
He spanked me a
It's
couple
been
times.
one of those days. Thank you, Homer. Homer and Tony, weekdays 2 to 4. As he mentioned, tomorrow, Maddie's in New Berlin. 2 hours of free beer between 2 and 4 with Homer and Tony out there. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Of course, the news of the day continues to be not what's happening in Green Bay, but what happened yesterday in New York, and that was Aaron Rodgers taking a $35 million pay cut over the next 2 years, something he was never willing to do in Green Bay. If he did do it in Green Bay, would the Packers have been willing to go all in if Rodgers took that pay cut? 800-990-3776.
And excited to be talking about 1848 coffee because they're in New Berlin, and I made my stop after the Princeton Club today out in New Berlin. I had to check it out again because I love the atmosphere. They have the outdoor setting. You can have a work meeting there. You can work there yourself, and they have 12 different roasts. 12 different roasts. They're amazing coffee, and it's coming to Ascendix near you. They're also sponsoring what I'm predicting to be, and who is the favorite, the race winner of A.J. Allmendinger. 1848 is going to be on the back of his car at Road America. Make sure you check out 1848 Coffee in New Berlin.
800-990-3776. The Packers have gone all in. If Aaron Rodgers had taken that pay cut 2 years ago, we want to hear from you next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
35, the minimum age required to become president of the United States. Don't you learn some of this stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't pay attention to that, but I do know 35.
That's the boring stuff.
Scalzo and Brust.
I knew 35 because I grew up wanting to be the president. I would have been brilliant.
Instead,
You still can be, Ben. You're not even at the minimum age yet.
My intelligence might be questioned.
At what points in your life did you realize, hey, I might not be up for this position of president of the United States?
My first AC.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We are still dealing with some issues out on the road, but at least we've got eastbound 94 starting to get back to normal, especially in Waukesha County. We had an earlier accident around Brookfield Road. That's been cleared out of the way. We do still have to deal with one on the ramp from eastbound 94 to 4394 southbound in the Marquette. So heads up with that. Keep your eyes open. It's not in traffic, but it's definitely causing an issue. 894 southbound, left lane blocked because of a crash right at Beloit Road. Actually, it's a broken down vehicle, but either way, left lane is blocked, and that is backing things up back through the zoo interchange. And then another accident on the right shoulder, southbound 4394, right about at Howard Avenue. Again, like I said, it's off to the right, so it's not going to cause too much of an issue. It's just something to keep your eyes on. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, muggy with patchy fog lakeside with a chance of thunderstorms. Later on, a low of 72. Tomorrow, a chance for morning storms, then more thunderstorms likely later on, some possibly severe. A high of 86 at the lakefront, 91 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's a city from a fairy tale on the Mediterranean Sea.
Netanya, the city of diamonds.
And in this city of diamonds lived a crazy genius named Moses Hadara.
Moses was a mathematician.
A diamond cutter.
And a bit of a theoretical physicist.
Albert Einstein devised a formula, E equals mc squared.
Albert's formula unleashed the power locked inside an atom.
Moses' formula unleashed the power locked inside a diamond.
Moses began with star facets,
Kite facets.
Upper girdle facets.
lower girdle facets.
And pavilion facets.
But then a voice told him to add 24 new facets. The Moses facets.
When he cut the final one,
Shazam!
Moses unleashed an explosion of light.
that dazzling diamond is known today as the Kessler 81.
See it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
At Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Yeah, they're football guys, but they don't shy away from the big topics of the day.
So you won't listen to their music because was it a bad breakup?
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by American Family Insurance.
I don't know. You play one of their songs on this guy broke up with Florida Georgia Line. You should like him more. I do like Tyler Hunt. Yeah, it's a good career move for him. You're still not going to go to the concert.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
What up, it's Dean Thomas. It's fight week, and Celsius athlete Dustin Poirier is returning to the octagon and looking to claim UFC's BMF belt this Saturday. Don't miss UFC 291 in Salt Lake City. Celsius is there for every training session, punch, and knockout, giving Dustin the essential energy he needs to raise that belt. Fight week is fueled by Celsius, essential energy drinks.
Show podcasts, team-centric feeds, and listening live whenever, wherever. All of that in the palm of your hand. The Wisconsin On Demand app, available in the Apple or Android App Store.
Come celebrate Milwaukee's original house party along our beautiful lakefront. Germanfest, July 28th, 29th, and 30th, featuring authentic German food, beer, and back this year, Steel Timber Sports, in an international extreme sports competition with axes, saws, and more, all 3 days. Don't miss the Glockenspiel, Dachshund Derby, Culture Village, Mardi Gras Show, Drachenschau, and the Schürzenjäger, Friday and Saturday night, and so much more. For more on Germanfest tickets and admission discounts, visit germanfest.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Nice to have a Grateful Dead Thursday.
Hey, it's a good smile on that face.
How could I not smile while looking at you, buddy?
Did you see that, Josh?
No, I only saw your head snap.
What happened?
Your teeth.
The microphone hit my teeth, but the mic was off. I grabbed.
How did the microphone hit your teeth? It doesn't move on its own.
I was going to say, do you like how it was passive?
Why do you have your mic off right now?
Because I'm scared. I tried to grab it like this, and I went like that, and it shot at my face.
So you hit yourself in the face.
Correct.
With the microphone.
That's what she said.
If I could, I would.
Huh?
What?
Guys, you know if you could, you would too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's move on. Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Big cut.
Josh got all squirrely there.
Joshy's awkward. Awkward Joshy's one of my favorites.
Joshy Hall monitor.
Well, because that's what she said. It hit me in the face, and then you said we would all do that. But you're talking about something completely different.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
I just want to know if we got it on video. I'd love to watch a video of Ben Brust hitting himself in the face with the microphone.
Well, luckily it hit the chip tooth and it didn't chip.
Matt from Milwaukee chimes in and says, so the Jets going all in is becoming the Packers of the East. So, yes, they did sign a number of Packers from previous years, including, of course, Aaron Rodgers via the trade. You add in Adrian Amos. You add in Randy Cobb. You add in Alan Lazard.
You could also say that Packers killer for at least one game, Dalvin Cook is at practice today.
So that is where you have to say, now that the pay cut has occurred, Matt from Milwaukee, that's going to see what all in looks like. They couldn't go all in before that as much as they could now. And yes, Dalvin Cook is somebody who I think a lot of people would point to and say that he's visiting the Jets. This creates some cap room to bring in. Still, 26, 27 years old, one of the best running backs in the NFL over the last 4 years in Dalvin Cook, and somebody who's averaged over 100 yards per game.
He's good. He's really good. I mean, again, I'm not saying that Dalvin Cook's going to be the sole reason why they win the Super Bowl, but again, it's a move that they can now make because of flexibility.
And it'll be interesting to see if the Jets do make the move, because if this were Aaron Rodgers taking the pay cut with the Green Bay Packers and they brought Dalvin Cook into Green Bay, the general consensus and feeling among Josh DiMaggio and the rest of the Packers fans out there would be, well, they're just going to take a look at him. They're going to be close, but they're not going to get him. And I hope I'm not putting words in your mouth, Josh. I've just heard you say that enough every time a veteran is mentioned, that the Packers are kings at being in on somebody and not getting them. So that's why we want to know from you, 800-990-ESPN, if Aaron had taken this pay cut with Green Bay 2 years ago, I'm just using that because we're talking about this 2-year window with Aaron, would the Packers have gone all in, brought in outside talent, and gone ahead and spent where they could spend to try to put a winner around him? 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Tosa Chris is not sure if there's a scenario after the Love draft where Rodgers volunteers for a pay cut. Yeah, you're probably right, but let's suspend yourself in a little disbelief because anything is possible. And who knows? He may have. He did sign an extension after the Love draft occurred. He only wanted out when the Packers wanted him to leave and pushed him out the door.
I think they would have middled it personally. Right? Like Aaron Rodgers would have took the pay cut. They likely would have brought more guys in, but they probably also would have done the Packer thing of use some of that money to extend guys into the future, right? Like use some of that money to, we're going to extend this person because we want to lock up our future, right? Even if the strategy's been draft and develop, I can totally see them being like, I mean, even think when they've had cap space, they haven't really fully gone in on the cap space that they had, and that goes into last year. Now you can say, well, maybe Goot looked at the roster and thought, this team doesn't have a chance to win a Super Bowl, so I'm not going to spend on this year. But it's hard for me to fully commit to the idea of the Packers going all in, even if more funds were there, because they've shown, other than the 2019 season when they signed 4 free agents, what have they really done from a free agency standpoint, other than the Amos, Turner, Smith brothers? They're not actually brothers, but you know what I'm saying. They haven't shown ability to actually want to go further with their money.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. I love your need to clarify the Smith brothers, who everybody listening knows aren't brothers, but you just wanted to make sure.
Context matters, man.
Yeah, but you didn't use the context of what their names actually were. You just said the Smith brothers. They're not actually brothers. Rob and Madison. Rob, welcome into Scalzo and Brust. Do you think the Packers would have gone all in had Aaron Rodgers taken this pay cut in Green Bay?
Aaron Rodgers would have never taken a pay cut in Green Bay. He's a selfish little coward, period.
Wait, hold on, Rob. I'll let you finish. But you're saying he's a selfish little coward. He would have never done it in Green Bay, but he did it in New York. He took an unprecedented pay cut that no one's ever done. No, let me finish, and then you can go again.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. And so he took it in New York. So the question is, why didn't he take it in Green Bay? Why wasn't he willing to take it in Green Bay?
Because it was a big screw you to Goody.
Okay.
And it's another huge screw you to Goody now that he's a Jet. See, everybody's like, $35 million, biggest pay cut ever for an NFL player. Let's talk about all his. Who is he sponsored by? Adidas and who knows? Jock Itch or tampons? Who knows? He's not losing any money.
No, he is. He's losing $35 million just because he's making more money elsewhere. All right, so say all in every year, he's making $50 million, or let's say call it $60 million, all in with endorsements and otherwise. He's still losing $17.5 million per year. So if he makes $60 million a year, now he's making, what's 60 minus 17.5?
That would be 42 point, yeah.
Now he's making $42.5 million. So he is giving up money. And I know that you could do it in percentages, and that percentage isn't as big as the actual dollar amount sounds. But that's still millions and still $30 million. Actually, why did I make it 17.5? Should have been 15.
Don't know.
Yeah. Why was I saying it was 35? Oh, it was 35. Yeah. I'm all over the place.
You good?
No, because Rob just spewing nonsense. I love you, Rob.
But again,
Rob's having a good Thursday.
I appreciate Rob. He's
love Rob.
Definitely, I like the voice too with the wind in the background.
Love to have a Nick Ultra with Rob
for sure. But
he's wrong.
Rob is doing the I don't care what the scenarios are. I thought you presented today. If he did it in New York, why didn't you do it in Green Bay? I just don't like him. Right? It came down to ultimately not liking Rodgers.
Chef Ed says the bad guy's looking more and more to be Goody. If he would have brought in some talent, Aaron might have stayed.
Don't those two kind of correlate together. Like, one of them has to be willing to cede ground in this scenario. I think it's reasonable to believe that once Jordan Love got drafted, Aaron Rodgers was going to do nothing to help out Brian Gutekunst other than make demands and give up nothing from his end. But, like, what is he supposed to?
They're both culpable. Like, it was a bad relationship between two key people in the organization.
I was going to say, maybe if Goody wasn't such a nerd and was able to connect with Aaron Rodgers on a personal level, he wouldn't have to invite all of his friends into the roster and take up cap space. This is all on Goody. Should have been his friend.
He did the same thing the next place he went, too, so.
Great friend. You have to say that.
Yeah, but he also took a pay cut to bring more friends.
He gets his homies paid, and for that, you have to commend him. Is there a way to believe that, like, I don't think the Packers go all in to the degree that maybe the Jets will end up doing this year, but I also don't think the Jets are going to make the right moves. Like, 27 in the running back world is typically where the fall off starts to happen and the decline starts to, like, be the issue. They have Breece Hall. Like, it feels like they're just making moves because Aaron wants them, not the best team building.
If you end up with
Leonard Fournette when he came to the Buccaneers and made an impact when he was older.
Probably. I mean, look, if they sign him for what would account to be $8 million guaranteed this year, that's a worthwhile spend to me because he's the best offensive player that's available right now in the market. Right? Like, if they did anything like long term, I would agree with you. It seems dumb. But to still have Hall and Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin can catch out of the backfield, like, I still think it would add to that offense in a meaningful way. But I tend to agree. I think the Packers would have used that extra money the way that the Packers build their team. I don't think they would have changed the way that they do team building, and they wouldn't have brought in, like, short-term free agents to go all in that window. They probably would have used it to solidify better contracts for their existing players and continue to do what the Packers do, just with a little bit more flexibility. And I don't know if that would have, satisfied Aaron Rodgers or Packers fans, to be quite frank. Ryan McGuanago says, I have no faith that if Rodgers took a pay cut, the Packers would have used it on better players.
Yeah, I mean, like, the one thing that the Jets are giving up, though, is, like, if you got to imagine, if Rodgers is taking a $35 million pay cut, he's going to get his wish of what he wanted more of with Green Bay, which is personnel type decisions, right? Like, it's not. I can see Aaron Rodgers thinking, like, hey, that $35 million is my $35 to spend. Now I don't know what percentage of that is going to go towards this year, but he made it very loud and clear that one of his gripes was the front office not utilizing Rodgers and his knowledge and his time in the game to help make personnel decisions, not being ultimate decision maker. But I think now that he's got a taste, he's going to want more.
On Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust, Brian Gutekunst and the Packers have gone all in if Aaron Rodgers would have taken a pay cut. 55% yes, 45% no. Justin Ritzel chimes in and says, nah, Goody is almost as allergic to signing free agents as his predecessor. Wiley Nash II says they did go all in. They would have more if the great Gazoo-looking quarterback was willing to take a pay cut. My God, your brains are rotting from the hot take machine. Hashtag Josh DiMaggio is right. And for the record, that is the only tweet with that hashtag.
Do you actually click on it?
I clicked on it, yeah. I was hoping there was one from like 3 years ago, but...
Hey, we should get that going. More of those.
More Wiley Nashes in the world, eh?
I also think there's so much conjecture about all this, and Josh is going to vehemently disagree, I imagine, about what I'm going to say because Aaron Rodgers is rich. But like, who at their job is just willing to be like, you know what? I'll take a pay cut so that we can bring in other people and like be better as a team. Like that in itself is a pretty remarkable move.
Can you give him a round of applause for that?
Do you want me to give Aaron Rodgers a round of applause?
For doing something commendable.
I think when spite drives something, you make decisions you wouldn't normally make.
That's fine, but it's still a remarkable decision.
It is. He's talked about having generational wealth.
Think about every word you say about Aaron Rodgers. It's all from spite.
If you were to tell me at this point, 48 hours ago, that Aaron Rodgers was going to take a $35 million pay cut, I'd tell you you're smoking crack with your grandma. Like, that's insane. Aaron Rodgers doesn't do that. That's not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but he does, Joshy.
Does now.
He does.
Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue with your rigid routine, or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life like having a Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Mich Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. 1-0 coming up next on a Grateful Dead Thursday, hanging out here with 1848 coffee. It is Scalzo and Brust.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You think that you sound
Why are we
cool
still
and
talking
elitist?
about this? I thought you were going to build me up.
But you make it so damn hard.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We do have some delays along southbound 41, basically stretching from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive and into the Zoo interchange. Onto 894 southbound stays heavy all the way down past National Avenue. Had an earlier disabled vehicle that was blocking a lane right around Beloit Road. That's been cleared out of the way. Southbound 43 still going to be a heavy from before Silver Spring all the way down into the Marquette interchange. Pretty slow there. We do still have an accident up on the board on the ramp from 94 eastbound to southbound 4394, where it continues to be heavy all the way down past the KK River. Traffic is brought to you by Great Lakes Dragaway, a quarter-mile long drag strip plus a drift pad. Even drive your own car on the track. Find full event schedule and ticket information at greatlakesdragaway.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Muggy with patchy fog by the lake. Chance of storms later on, a low of 72. Then tomorrow, chance of a morning storms, then more storms likely later on. Some might be severe. A high of 86 at the lake, 91 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back and bigger than ever with $14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circus Sports. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. 2 ways to win and no rate. Play Circa Million, where you make 5 picks against the spread each week with 100% payback. Or join Circus Survivor, where you select one team each week straight up. Last the longest to win it all. $14 million in guaranteed prizes. Visit circusports.com for details.
People who suffer from long-term chronic joint pain spend so much of their time acting, putting up a carefree front. It's exhausting.
I was really tired of trying to act like I wasn't in pain because I was in pain all the time.
Rick Rawlings didn't want everyone else to know that he was coping with agonizing shoulder pain 24/7.
Yes, I had to put on a face to cover up my pain.
But then Rick found QC Kinetics, offering new lasting treatments for joint pain using natural biologics. Treatments designed to restore and repair joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. The results were amazing.
I am very glad. It changed my life doing the QC Kinetics. Today, my shoulders feel wonderful. The cranky Rick is gone. He's not grouchy anymore.
No more acting. Feel like yourself again with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee.
Homer and Tony are heading to the big backyard at Maddie's Bar and Grill Friday, July 28th for an outdoor happy hour. Join us from 2 to 4 for a chance to win free Bloody Marys for a year and enjoy complimentary Maddie's exclusive craft beer collaboration with Eagle Park Brewery perfectly named Hospitality IPA. You heard that right, free beer from 2 to 4. Stick around for your favorite fish fry and the baseball game on the 18-foot LED screen. Like Maddie's Bar and Grill on Facebook for details and find them on the web at maddie'sbar.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Grateful Dead Thursday here on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, you, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-3776, 800-990-ESPN, Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust, at ESPN Milwaukee. Josh, let's hit some 1 or 0s.
Are you a 1 or a 0? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you a yes or a no?
There's no such thing as a gray area. Life is binary. It's just a 1 or a 0. 1 or 0 is presented by Circa Sports. Play the Circa Million and Circa Survivor with $14 million in guaranteed prizes. Only at Circa Sports. Enter in Vegas. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, we are your contestants for 1 or 0. Josh DiMaggio, your host. He asks us a question. We say 1 for yes, 0 for no. There's no gray area. Josh, you take it away.
In a response to Sean Payton talking poorly about the Jets and them being an average team with too much hype, Robert Saleh responded by saying, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't poppin'. 1 or 0. You have to have haters to be considered poppin'.
1. Absolutely. I also just really wanted you to read the last quote. That's why I chose that one. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't poppin'. It's for sure 1. Had haters my whole life. I just, tough streets growing up. I mean, I was a little tongue-in-cheek there. But I know you're laughing right now, Greg. It's true. Like, I wasn't going to be good enough to play in college. Then it was you're not Division I. Then it's you're not a Big Ten guy. Like, that means you're popping, baby. That means if people are talking about you and hating on you, you got to go stunting on them. I just crushed that 1 or 0.
I'm a 1.
Why won't you answer?
What can I do after that?
Yeah.
I put you in a bad spot?
Yes.
1 or 0. You know what it means to be poppin'.
1. Just look at me.
I'm a 0 because if you just said, hey, Greg, are you poppin'? I don't know if I know what you're talking about. In this context, I know exactly what it means.
Would you check your pants?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's... If you said, like, if I hear this, like, I know exactly what he's saying. But if you're like, I'm popping, I don't know.
Have you heard the people who say, like, instead of saying, like, okay, they say bet?
Yep.
I don't like that one.
Bet.
Or, what's another, slay? You're slaying right now?
Slay, girl.
Today, Darren Ravel tweeted a picture of 2 strands of Kurt Cobain's hair that were traded for an Albert Einstein Type 1 photo, whatever that means.
What is that?
Don't know. At the National Collectors Convention. 1 or 0. There's any famous person's hair you would be willing to own?
0.
I mean, when Aaron had those long locks.
What would be better, mustache hairs or the long hairs?
No, I couldn't do the hairs thing. My brother, at one point, had this very thick, long beard. Think like Matt Patricia, the former Lions coach. Mm-hmm. And when he shaved it, he bagged up the hair. And then he found it like a year later. He's like, I don't remember why he did this, but I think he just like didn't want to let it go.
If you get
what are you going to do? Oh, we know we're going to donate you're going to donate your hair, right?
Yes.
We got to be to the length where it's donatable.
Let's call him up.
If you get a chance to look at the picture Ravel tweeted, it's the tiniest little like glass plastic case, and you can barely see the 2 strands of hair. It's unbelievable that anybody would pay money for it.
What about like Michael Jordan's hair, since he's bald? I don't know. I'm just trying to be creative here.
That's where you excel. Just a few hours ago, the Milwaukee Brewers acquired first baseman Carlos Santana for minor league shortstop Johnny Severino. 1 or 0. The Brewers need to add even more hitters than Santana.
It's a 1. I'm glad they grabbed a first baseman. Rowdy's had a down season. Owen Miller's playing first. He's not a true first baseman, so to get a nice hitter in Carlos Santana, I really like. The bottom of the lineup just scares me. I know their pitching and defense is good. The bullpen's been amazing the last 3 weeks. But they're going to need hitting if they're going to take the next step towards a playoff run.
So you think they're going to need to add more?
Yes, 1.
I mean, look, it's one of those things like what? Who's going to say no in terms of like, nah, they don't. They don't need to add more. I don't want them to add more.
Well, I think adding one is a good sign that like they're investing and not selling off right away.
They're definitely in buyer's mode. I mean, they're not going to be in seller's mode. Why would they? They're in first place in a very good, very good division. To me, they should be aiming for that 2 seed. One, of course, they would benefit from adding more hitters, especially given the fact they've had over 1,000 days on the IL. Like, Rowdy's not healthy. Like, you don't know when he is going to get healthy.
They signed Winker, and he's batting under 200. He had a nice pinch hit the other day, but...
They need a little bit of help there. I do think there's some young guys in that system that they're going to have in September call-ups that could be really interesting to make an impact. But, overall, yeah, I don't know if they need to. I still think they make the playoffs, and I still think they're a heavy favorite to win the division without adding any more hitters. But there's a difference between, making the playoffs and really, cementing yourself as one of the favorites in the dance.
One thing, Joshy, that I will not let happen is when the Brewers make the playoffs, Dunzo the Clown, Jesse Nelson, and Mark Tauscher, they're not getting away with their jargon. That
they don't get to watch.
They don't get to be fake fans and support the Brew Crew, because before the All-Star break, after getting swept by the Athletics, they called the Brewers dead. Those two bozos are not allowed to root for the Brewers.
This one might be the exclusive content of some other shows on ESPN Wisconsin, but I'm going to go for it anyways. Yesterday, at Congress's UFO/UAP hearings, the whistleblower who's accused the American government of covering up UFOs said that non-human biologics were discovered of crashed aircrafts. 1 or 0, you believe the U.S. has recovered non-humans from crashed UFOs?
I guess non-human biologics could mean a lot of different things, but why would Congress go up there and lie?
It's not Congress who was doing it. It was David Grush, I believe is his name.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, and it's not saying they recovered bodies, but he's claiming there is recovered material that is of non-human or non-earthly.
I just want to know what, is it, are they made of blood? What's their makeup? You know what I mean? Like, is it like I see in the movies where it's like green and it splatters everywhere? I'm just curious on the makeup of the body.
That's it. You just care about the physiological aspects.
I want to know.
It's so perfect.
I want to know if in cinema,
what do they look like? That's pretty much what you're asking.
I want to know in cinema if we've been portraying aliens correctly.
No. Absolutely no concern with their motivations of coming to Earth.
Nah.
Their technological capabilities to be able to travel through different galaxies. The different evolutions that they've. None of that. Where their homeland is, nothing. It's just what do they look like and do they have blood? If Rambo shot them in Rambo 7, would they
splatter
bleed,
green,
or would their blood be red or green?
Greg, how much time do you think it would take you and I to explain how the biological makeup of aliens is dependent on the type of, the evolution of how they began to breathe, or, things like that? Like, how it could be a different element than
Alien
oxygen.
Biology 101?
Like how hemoglobin might not be a factor because that's dependent on the building blocks.
The environment that they actually...
Yeah, I know what you guys are talking about.
It would take a very long time, Josh.
Do you think we could do it by the end of the show?
No, because I think he just has already stopped paying attention and thinking about the next one-liner.
No, I'm just hemoglobins. I'm just trying to...
See? You didn't even hear what I said.
What do they look like,
More like hemogoblins, am I right?
Yeah.
Have you started your preparation for your stand-up set?
Yeah.
No? You're like...
I'm worried about going on a date with a blow-up doll on Tuesday.
You could get some great stand-up material off of that.
Probably right. You're probably right. But regardless, it's going to be a good idea to have 1848's coffee in my system because it's delicious.
You're going to need to bring the energy in your stand-up.
Totally.
No doubt. Because you're going to have to be one of those guys who's like more about the delivery.
Less about the words.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I can be very demonstrative with my language, and coffee's going to do that for me. 1848 Coffee, 12 different roasts. They're going to be in Sendix soon. Sponsoring a race car at Road America. I'll be there on Saturday, July 29th. 1848 Coffee on AJ Allmendinger's car. a fantastic coffee shop. You can sit outside, you can work inside, you can have a work meeting, enjoy a nice cup of coffee. They're continuing to grow their roast. They have 12 roasts. They made the Mile specifically a darker roast, which I'm a big fan of at 1848. So check out 1848 Coffee in New Berlin, and also watch them at Road America.
We'll take a quick look at Big Ten Media Days. Hear what Coach Luke Fickell had to say about the Badgers. What do you think should be the proper expectations for the team in Fickell's first year? 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. It's coming up next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
How many compartments does a cow's stomach have?
4.
Scalzo and Brust.
What's amazing is that people are still accusing you of cheating.
How? I would cheat to win. Because not cheat to lose.
Because the 4 compartments in a cow's stomach.
Because there's 4 little things that you
This is why people think that you
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. The place where you make your wildest food fantasies come true. The place where you take a ride on the iconic giant slide. The place where you smell all the smells. That's right. It all happens at the Wisconsin State Fair. From August 3rd through the 13th, head to State Fair Park for some summer fun. Get your tickets at wistatefair.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
The technology frustrations we hear about, hands down, ease of use. We take that complexity out of it and keep it down to the bare minimum of what they need and what they use. Our goal is to lend a level of simplicity that any knowledge level can walk into that room and at a glance know exactly how to turn that room on and utilize all of its features.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Show your Brewers pride everywhere you go with Brewers Checking, only from Associated Bank. Score exclusive perks like a one-of-a-kind Brewers Debit MasterCard, 10% off at the team store, even express check-in at the Associated Bank gate. And if you want a VIP game day, the Associated Bank Power Alley is for everyone. Contact the Brewers ticket office to learn how you could treat your crew to a full buffet and private bar overlooking left center field. Brewers Checking. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Brewers today. Member FDIC.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. We're amping up summer here on Ben's Beer Fridge and grabbing a refreshing Beatbox Hard Tea. Zach from Beatbox is here to share why Beatbox Hard Tea is what you should be picking up today.
Our flavor is incredible. The taste is ridiculously good. It's one of the unique products that you pick up, and if you try it for the first time, you're going to be shocked at how smooth it is, how flavor forward it is. And so if you compare our hard tea, for example, as one of our flavors in our portfolio, we're twice the ABV, we're a third of the sugar, we're a third of the carbs, and really like an incredible price point for the value that you're getting for the product.
Thanks to Zach from Beatbox for joining me and telling us all about the hard tea. Remember, folks, whether it's hard teas or something else, the fridge should always be stocked.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
From the tee box to the green and everything golf-related in between.
Same thing with Xander and Campbell. Like those 4, because you know you're just going to pair them together. Like those 4 are safe on this Ryder Cup team. They're safe in 2 years on that Ryder Cup team.
On the tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson.
Like JT and Spieth are still your horses. Like they are still your first team out.
On the tee with Gabe and Steven, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. Mondays at 6 on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
A Grateful Dead Thursday on Scalzo and Brust. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. And Tony and Aaron, the official, unofficial slapback commissioner. The Scalzo and Brust family chimes in. Is this from the Dead & Co. video that everybody was watching?
This is not the one of John Mayer totally slaying the axe.
It's not. This is just a different audio. Okay.
This is Nassau Coliseum, 1980.
Hey, you gave me that bird song from Nassau Coliseum. That was a big hit at Member Guests. Partner liked that one a lot.
I believe that was 93.
I'm just saying it was at Nassau.
Yes. Tony and Aaron, the official and official slapback commissioner of the Scalzo and Brust family, says, I love Ben sometimes. So simple-minded, so entertaining.
Is that a compliment?
It is. But you're also jacked, thanks to Maddie at the Princeton Club.
Simple-minded and just a meathead, yeah. I was at the Princeton Club this morning with my guy, Maddie. Love Maddie because, he's a little down on me. And because he knows how to push me to reach my, my better tomorrow. And, whether it be the free childcare that they offer, the cleanest health clubs in the Wisconsin area, they're going to invest in the club. So when you go to the Prince Club, you're constantly seeing renovations. I've been seeing it all the time. In the locker room, whether it be in the fitness area with new equipment, that's what the Prince Club does. They invest in you so you can invest in yourself. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club.
So during the break, I realized we never asked Ben Brust if he knew who Kurt Cobain was off of the 1 or 0 question that Josh posed. And Ben, you accurately guessed that he was
a comedian, because I honestly feel as if we've done this before.
Yeah. What kind of comedy do you think that Kurt Cobain does?
So can you give me some examples of different types of comedy?
All right. Like, is he more of a prop comic? Is he like a storyteller? Was he in movies? Is he still alive, Kurt Cobain?
He's clearly dead.
Yes, he is clearly dead.
They were trading his hair with Albert Einstein.
You could trade alive people's hair, I suppose.
Yeah, hair doesn't
imply
that
they
you're
pulled
dead.
it off his corpse.
He seems like I picture him on TV for some reason.
Yeah. So you've seen Kurt Cobain on TV telling jokes like a stand-up?
No.
Why
are you doing this?
I love the idea that you think Kurt Cobain is a comedian. It's why I'm doing this. Because he's not. He's probably one of the most popular musicians of the last, 40 years. He was the head singer of a band called Nirvana. None of this rings a bell
I've
for you.
seen a T-shirt of Nirvana.
The idea of Kurt Cobain, a famously tortured artist, being a guy telling jokey jokes is preposterous.
The height of irony.
What kind of torture? Was he kidnapped?
Listen to some Nirvana. Or just, look up Kurt Cobain. We're not going to do this and teach you Kurt Cobain on the air. We've got Luke Fickell to talk about, who is down at Big Ten Media Days. And, of course, a lot of focus, a lot of attention on the Badgers, red hot. After the Fickell hire, he puts the staff together. He's got bat signals going out left and right. They're recruiting. Plenty of transfers coming in. But it's year one. And it's year one for Fickell in Wisconsin. Here's what he said the expectation should be for the Wisconsin Badgers.
We have one objective, and that's to play for a championship. I don't think that'll ever change, whether it's year 1, year 2, 3, 4, or 5. That's what our objective is. And then then I'll tell our guys as we start camp here next week that nobody outside of our team, nobody outside of the walls which the guys that are there every single day that have everything invested will define what success looks like for us. And we cannot allow that. We can't allow fans, we can't allow students, we can't allow former players, we can't allow the media to define what success looks like within our program. But I'll tell you what I think success looks like. Success looks like, to me, when you play your best ball at the end of the year. When you play your best ball at the end of the year, you have an opportunity, and we will have an opportunity to play for a championship.
Yeah, that's right, Luke Fickell.
I don't like it.
What?
It's just setting it. I like it from a long-term standpoint, but why say year one? Why put this year?
He's basically saying every year the standard at UW is to win a championship.
This is fan brain. This is me scared. This is me scared, Greg.
Scared of what?
Of getting my hopes up. Like being up 21-7 against Ohio State in 2019.
So can I tell you something? I like the fact that Luke Fickell worries less about Ben Brust, scaredy cat Badger fan, and cares more about...
I am.
And cares more about building and establishing a championship-level expectation for the players and the program. That's it. That's the Wisconsin standard. It's championship. Everyone's been afraid to say it for a long time, right? With Barry, it was Rose Bowls. You got to get to Rose Bowls. And then it was maintaining that Barry Alvarez standards. When the last time you heard a coach at UW be like, yeah, this championship every year is for a championship?
Women's hockey.
I'm not talking about, of course, women's hockey.
Yeah, in football, you're right. It's win the Big Ten West.
So, the idea that he's building that, I like the fact that he cares more about building that internal culture, probably consistency of messaging. That's the message inside the locker room. That's the message to the recruits. That's everything. And he's willing to say the quiet part out loud. I like that. And if it scares Badger fans or they end up only winning 9 games or 10 games and people are disappointed, okay. I like the fact that we know Fickell's going to be disappointed with us, and that's not good enough for him.
Yeah, look, like you said, it is different. It is new. And when I hear that, I ultimately go into hurt Ben. I think of me sulking in Indianapolis after they lost the Big Ten championship game. I think of Greg Scalzo and Ben Brust sitting at the Echo Tap in 2019, up 21-7, convincing ourselves that this might happen, even though we really knew deep down in our hearts that it wasn't going to happen. So it is a step in the right direction to start building it in fans' heads. And the way you build a successful collegiate program is having consistent messaging. The messaging that you have external, the messaging you have internal to recruits. So that way there's no missing anything, right? When I was recruited by Wisconsin, no one had to tell me why I was going to Wisconsin for basketball. It was to compete in the Big Ten, finish high in the Big Ten, make the NCAA tournament, and have a chance to compete and win. And that was the messaging, and that's what he's trying to build. And so I appreciate that. It is just a little scary, and I will get there because hopefully that messaging doesn't change. And the next thing I know, I'll be a sheep, just following Luke Fickell to Camp Randall and wearing championship. I'll wear some standard as a standard championships here in Wisconsin. We're going to create some cool shirts and do something. I'll get all excited. This is new. It's scary, but I'm willing to accept it.
800-990-3776. We'll keep the phone lines open. I kind of want to encourage people to call in with the most famous people they can think of that Ben wouldn't know and make Ben guess who they are. But that's a dangerous road to walk down right now.
Why?
We just got a lot of stuff to talk about. I want to talk about the Packers. I want to get back to original question of if they would have gone all in. I love talking Fickell and the Badgers. We've got over-under at 5:15. We've got Jason Wilde at 5:30. And we've got a great interview that you did earlier today, for
1848.
At 5:45.
Yeah. We got a busy show, but doesn't mean we can't do 2 things at once.
Okay. Call in with the most famous people you think Ben will have no idea. Ben will guess who they are to the best of his ability. 800-990-3776. Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. We're back in 2 minutes. Presented by Michelob Ultra.
We do have some delays along southbound 41, basically stretching from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive and into the Zoo interchange. Onto 894 southbound stays heavy all the way down past National Avenue. Had an earlier disabled vehicle that was blocking a lane right around Beloit Road. That's been cleared out of the way. Southbound 43 still going to be a heavy from before Silver Spring all the way down into the Marquette interchange. Pretty slow there. We do still have an accident up on the board on the ramp from 94 eastbound to southbound 4394, where it continues to be heavy all the way down past the KK River. Traffic is brought to you by Great Lakes Dragaway, a 1/4-mile long drag strip plus a drift pad. Even drive your own car on the track. Find full event schedule and ticket information at greatlakesdragaway.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Muggy with patchy fog by the lake. Chance of storms later on, a low of 72. Then tomorrow, chance of morning storms, then more storms likely later on. Some might be severe. A high of 86 at the lake, 91 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ES.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You wanted lower prices? Fleet Farm's got them. Like KT Nut and Fruit Blend, now only $32.99 for a 20-pound bag. Or how about $3.49 a quart for Resolute Conventional or Synthetic Blend Motor Oil? Also, Resolute Classic Green Antifreeze is now just $10.99 a gallon. And control summer weeds with Gordon's Amine 240 Weed Killer. 2.5 gallons, now only $69.99. Look for new lower prices on everything you need for everyday life with price drops at Fleet Farm.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
It's a party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
It's a party, baby.
On 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Some of these aren't going to be as famous as others, but we're going to rapid fire some famous names here on the text line and see. You're going to just guess. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Who they were. Some of these you should know. Some of them I'm not exactly sure. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN.
Famous people that you don't think I will know.
Appleman Arrowhead searching. Do you know what that means?
I thought it was a famous person. I was like, I don't know who that is.
Wants to know if you know Sinead O'Connor.
Hell no.
In the news recently. She just passed. Pour one out. Great famous singer.
Thank you.
Irish singer. Pat from Madison says Gene Wilder.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah. All right. Benny pulled it off there. 414 says Dave Grohl.
That's not a famous person.
Famous musician. Thurgood Marshall.
With Kurt Cobain.
With Kurt Cobain, yes. He's with Nirvana.
Sounds like that band. Is he alive?
Yes, he's also had another very famous band.
I thought this was rapid fire. You're going slow.
Have you heard of the Foo Fighters?
Yes.
Yes, Dave
Weren't
Grohl.
they in town?
They were for Harley Fest. I got off the page here.
Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall? Is that a person?
Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall. Clearly, I don't know.
Supreme Court Justice. Let me see some good ones here. Man, people, some of these are like a little bit down the line. Give me some good ones. He doesn't know obvious ones, people. George Washington Carver.
Is that the president?
No, that is not the president. Josh, you give me the one. Thank you. George Washington Carver created the cotton gin.
The cotton gin?
Cotton gin, yes.
Which is
Oh, my God. It helped lead to a significant revolution in terms of farming here. See, like we need some Lance Bass.
Lance Bass. In sync?
I believe in sync, yes. Harriet Tubman.
She's famous. I know that. Civil rights?
Little earlier than that. No, I'm not giving you a pass on that.
Underground tunnel.
Underground Railroad. Jenna Jameson.
Jenna Jameson? Sounds like a porn star.
It is. Pam Anderson.
Yeah, obviously. Borat wanted to date her.
Okay.
I want to find Pamela.
Pete Weber.
Bowler. Who do you think you are? I am.
Rosa Parks.
Back of the bus.
Oh, I'm sorry. George Washington Carver was peanut butter. It was Eli Whitney that was cotton gin. Yes. Dale Earnhardt, you know who it is. Let's go to Tom and McGuanago. Tom, welcome to Scalzo and Brust. Who do you want to know if Ben knows?
Guys, can I don't want to give the actor's name right away. I'd rather give a movie quote to make it a little more fun.
When's it from? If it's 90s or 80s before, I'm not going to get it.
No, you're not going to get that. Just relax. So, you're talking about my boy all wrong. It's the wrong tone. Do it again. I'm going to stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
You threatening me?
Sick reference.
No.
Your references are out of control. Everyone knows that.
I don't know it.
Come on, Christopher Walken. We're talking Joe Dirt.
I don't know Joe Dirt.
Is this Robin Madison?
No.
You sound a lot like Rob.
Who is that bastard?
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you for the call.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. You don't know Christopher Walken?
I do. He's in the Rocks movie. He's a bad guy in Walking Tall.
If Ben would see Christopher Walken, we'd be hearing so many impressions. He's
got a great voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a great voice. I know who Christopher Walken is.
Can you do an impression?
He talks. No, I can't do an impression. I have to hear it.
Like some of these, like James Hetfield, he's not going to know who that is.
Who the hell is that?
Like,
James Hetfield?
You guys are making this too hard on him. It's funnier when you give him Kurt Cobain and he has no idea and thinks it's a comedian. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. A lot of responses.
That's a disappoint. You seem disappointed in Scalzo and Brust family.
I am, because they're trying to stack the deck a little bit, and it's way better when, like, even if you get some of them, I'd rather have you get 2 or 3 and then completely miss out on, like the Harriet Tubman was a good one. But you don't know who Frederick Douglass is.
I mean, I've heard of him.
Exactly. That's the point. Would Brian Gutekunst and the Packers have gone all in if Aaron Rodgers would have taken a pay cut? 52% yes, 48% no, and a lot of chatter there in the talk and text line. Matt Movrich says, why should Rodgers have taken a pay cut? He deserved his money, and at the end of the day, it was Goody who put the contract in front of him. He didn't have to give him that contract, but he did. Why are we not pointing the finger at Goody? Only Rodgers. This fan base makes me laugh.
Yeah, I wonder when it says this fan base, I wonder if he's a Packer fan, because I think Packer fans, like the propaganda, the Packers have done a great job of making this seem as if Aaron is the only culprit in the bad guy, right? Like he didn't want to be here, forced out, but it was Goody and Rodgers that both had issues with each other. They're both culprits in him not being a Green Bay Packer anymore, but the narrative has definitely been, I'd say, 75-25, Rodgers is the bad guy, not Goody.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely, but he's also the guy that's no longer on the team, and Goody is, and I think that ultimately the colors bleed.
I just don't want to. Who would want to pick that nerd to be someone you want to support?
Well, Chris says 100% they would have tried to get the best weapons available. They were always in talks on
Sammy Watkins was available.
Agent.
They went and got him.
But in the end, they didn't have the capital to get it done. Chris blaming the capital. Cindy Merriam chimes in, says they were not going all in once they used a first-round pick for Love. Rodgers knew that.
That's a smart person.
Let's go to Zach in Glendale. Zach, welcome to Scalzo and Brust. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
I was just curious if Ben knows who Frank Kaminsky is.
All right, come on now. Thank you for the call.
It's a good
Did you
question.
screen that caller?
Yeah, I was just figuring since you didn't attend his wedding, maybe you forgot who he is.
Wow.
Also, Christopher Walken isn't in Walking Tall.
Is it? It's The Rundown.
Oh my God!
It's The Rundown.
Christopher Walken is rolling over in his grave right now, thinking that that's the identifier you're using.
Christopher Walken,
not Deer Hunter.
The Rundown.
Like
he's in The Rundown.
Teddy from Watertown wants to know if you know who Jim Doyle is.
Jim Doyle, poker player,
former governor, Wisconsin.
There is a Doyle though. You know the old guy.
Yeah,
Doyle Brunson.
Doyle Brunson.
Josh in Lake Geneva wants to know if you know who Andy Warhol is.
Absolutely not.
Artist. Cam from Heights wants to know if you know who Helen Keller is.
Some blind musician.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Oh, have
Helen
mercy.
Keller.
Chef Ed says, Ben, what is the... I don't need to know that. Austin and Whitefish Bay says, David Bowie. Do you know who that is?
I
mean, very famous singer. Excessively, like so famous that I don't know how you don't know who David Bowie is.
You almost have to purposely avoid David Bowie to not know who he
Daniel the Sloth wants to know if you know who Frank Lloyd Wright is.
Frank Lloyd Wright is a famous philosopher.
He invented the airplane.
Yeah, like I'm now looking at David Bowie. Why would I know who David Bowie is?
That was the Wright brothers. Frank Lloyd Wright is a writer. Josh from Madison says, do you know who James Madison is?
He was a president.
Best known for?
When
was he a president?
5th?
4th? Very close.
Thank you. I love when I get passing grades on being close.
On being close. Steven Tyler?
He's a guitarist.
Guess, but you got to pass.
I mean,
he's part of the band. No, he doesn't play guitar, but like he's the lead singer of a rock band, and in Ben's world, that's a pass.
That's totally a pass.
Oh my God! You know who Palermo's is?
Woo! I sure do, Gregory. It's so screaming good. Look, it's going to be one of those weekends where
Frank Lloyd Wright is an architect, very famous from Wisconsin. That's right. I botched that twice.
Pat on the back to you for owning that.
Well, I mean, there's too many names coming at me here.
I'm confused.
2.5 feet of stuffed crust cheese in the Screamin' I'm Stuffed Crust Pizza. Secret tomato recipe sauce that we all know and love, plus that whole milk or mozzarella cheese that's sourced right here in the great state of Wisconsin. You also have the Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Pizza that is the OG of Screamin's with the Bessie's Revenge, with the holy pepperoni. It speaks for itself. The mother of meat, Supremus Maximus, the Mambo Italiano. Mambo. Very good, Josh. Find your Screamin' pleasure, whether it's the thin and crispy or others in the Palermo's family, in your local grocer's freezer.
Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. We've got over-under coming up next, 800-990, ESPN 800-990-3776. We're going to go caller 2, caller 4. Caller 2, caller 4, 800-990, ESPN. Over-under works like this. Josh DiMaggio has a category. We don't know what it is. He's applied an over-under line for the amount of correct answers Ben and I will guess out of 10 guesses within 3 minutes. We don't know what that is either. Caller number 2, you'll find out both. You say over or under, depending on how much you believe in us. Caller 4, you are stuck on the other side. Winner wins a fabulous experience at Road America.
4 tickets. That's right, people. 4 tickets to the NASCAR Xfinity race. You're going to see A.J. Allmendinger in that 1848
that 1848 coffee car.
Yes, sir.
Do we know what color it is? Is it coffee colored?
No, it's a slick white and blue.
Ooh.
It's a very slick car, and he's going to be driving, and he's going to be in the front of the field and on the back bumper. You're going to see 1848. You're also going to see 1848 in stores near you soon. Sendix, baby. It's going to be there. Stay tuned. 1848 Coffee's got 12 delicious brews. They have the Mile, the dark roast right now. That is my favorite. So again, great chance to go watch Road America Racing, NASCAR Xfinity, and the 1848 car is going to be there.
Over under coming up next on Scalzo and Brust.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Ron in the Key says CGL can't grow league. That's mean, Ron.
Ron, too far.
Now we're taking out my height.
I'm not. Ron did. I got your back.
You are choosing what to read.
Hey, for the rest of the show, you can be 6'1".
6'1", Ben Brust. Round of applause, Joshy. Just grew an eighth of an inch. See, this is how we build you back up, physically and mentally and spiritually.
You guys are just absolutely gems at this.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Well, we do still have this problem in Racine County. Highway 32 is closed in both directions at 6 Mile Road for a crash. They're still working on that one. And then the other crash is on the ramp from 94 eastbound to southbound 4394 in the Marquette interchange. It's more affecting your ride 43 southbound, where we are seeing big delays from Silver Spring all the way down through the Marquette interchange. 894 southbound on and off the brakes through the Zoo interchange all the way down and around the hill as well. Does not really let up till you get past 60th Street. Traffic is brought to you by Evans Transportation in Brookfield, where they provide customized logistics solutions to keep you and your business moving forward. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, muggy with patchy fog lakeside. Chance of thunderstorms later on, a low of 72. Tomorrow, chance for morning storms, then more thunderstorms likely later on. Some of them may be severe. A high of 86 at the lake, 91 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They talk about everything, but sports always comes first.
Yes, they believe he's going to win. Do they believe he's going to win his first year? Hell no. If they thought Jordan Love could win this year, they sure as hell would have Mason Crosby back as a place kicker.
They haven't seen anything. They've been telling you to temper expectations. The problem is they were in a bad situation with Rodgers. They had to do what they had did. You got to kick the tires on Love. It's time.
And Aaron Rodgers didn't win his first year.
Spend your afternoons with Homer and Tony. Weekdays 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. We're amping up summer here on Ben's Beer Fridge and grabbing a refreshing Beatbox Hard Tea. Zach from Beatbox is here to share why Beatbox Hard Tea is what you should be picking up today.
Our flavor is incredible. The taste is ridiculously good. It's one of the unique products that you pick up, and if you try it for the first time, you're going to be shocked at how smooth it is, how flavor forward it is. And so if you compare our hard tea, for example, as one of our flavors in our portfolio, we're twice the ABV, we're a third of the sugar, we're a third of the carbs, and really like an incredible price point for the value that you're getting for the product.
Thanks to Zach from Beatbox for joining me and telling us all about the hard tea. Remember, folks, whether it's hard teas or something else, the fridge should always be stocked.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. Guys, did you know that the stored belly fat reduces your free testosterone? The more the belly grows, the harder it is to drop, mostly because of the decrease in free T. It's a vicious cycle that men are losing, and unfortunately, everyone can see it. Mentality breaks that cycle with semaglutide, an industry-changing weight loss medication that can help you lose up to 15% of your body weight while preserving your testosterone. Join our over 20,000 clients to look and feel the way you deserve. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Keep the good times rolling every Sunday with GKB founder and CEO Craig Karmazin on Sunday Karma.
No rump shaking. Did you say that off the air, Kyle? You got to say that on the air. It was not rump shaking. It was not anything inappropriate. It just was totally irrelevant.
Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
Because isn't that how GMs get chosen, right? You trade up, in my opinion, cost the team a chance to win a championship.
Sundays from 10 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin.
Oh, you forgot to clean out your backpack since school ended? Oh, rotten.
Let's make our windows.
Well, you make a great point. Tell you what, let's clean out your backpack and then we'll...
from Pella.
Well, we can't do anything about rotten lunches. Pella's lifetime warranty on wood windows and doors makes it so that you'll never have to worry about rotting windows again. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, make payments as low as $35 per month per window and $78 per patio door. Visit PellaWI.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
ESPN Wisconsin, presented by Michelob Ultra. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, you the Scalzo and Russ family, calling, texting 800-990-3776. 1848 coffee. We'll be representing on Sunday out of Road America. Saturday, excuse me. My mind's in the NFL right now.
Fair enough.
Delicious coffee. Check out 1848 Coffee. Joshua, let's hit it for some over-under.
Will the guys hit the over, or will they disappoint like they usually do? It's time for Over Under on Scalzo and Brust.
Here's how the game works. Josh DiMaggio has a category. We don't know what it is. He's applied an over-under line to the amount of correct answers Ben and I will get within that category out of 10 guesses within 3 minutes. We don't know what the over-under line is either. However, caller number 2, that's Noah in Madison, found out both, and he believes in us. He said, I'll take the over. That means Quentin in Monona is stuck on the under. And the over-under winner wins 4 tickets to Saturday's race at Road America. Joshy, what's the category?
Since we got some new quarterbacks in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers taking pay cuts, things of that nature, I'm looking for the 10 NFL teams with the least amount of starting quarterbacks in the last decade. The over-under is 6.5. I do have to say this list does include this season. So every team has a starting quarterback right now that is accounted
the
for.
10 teams NFL with the least quarterbacks started?
Yes.
Since 2013. 13.
Guys ready? Clock starts in 3, 2, 1.
Green Bay Packers, final answer.
Green Bay Packers are in a tie with a whole bunch of other teams at 3.
What about Seattle? Russell came out.
Seattle Seahawks, final answer.
Seattle Seahawks are only 2 starting quarterbacks.
What about Atlanta?
Why don't we go with the New England Patriots first?
Sure.
Patriots, final answer.
Patriots are at 3.
I like Atlanta. I'll take Atlanta. Final answer.
Atlanta also at 3.
We're good so far. San Francisco's had a lot. How long was Derek Carr the starter?
I mean, I would go Kansas City. It was Alex Smith into Patty Mahomes. Kansas City Chiefs, final answer.
They are tied for first with the Seahawks and one other team.
2 minutes.
Another team with 2 then out there.
It's not the Steelers. Is it the Chargers? Was it Phillip Rivers directly into Herbert?
Maybe.
Let's go with the Chargers. Final answer.
Chargers are at 2. If you remember, Tyrod Taylor got his lung punctured the day of the game. Justin Herbert started before he was supposed to.
Did he win that lawsuit against the training staff?
I believe he did.
Okay.
Hard to lose that one.
Yeah.
Are we still playing?
Yes, because you need one more.
Ooh.
All right. Thinking caps.
In the Giants, Eli, but he retired in like 2019. I'm just trying to think of guys that played
longevity. I mean, why would you like the Steelers?
Let's go Steelers. Final answer.
Steelers not on the list. If
It's
you
fine.
remember, there
Big
was
Ben gets hurt a lot.
that Mason
good
Rudolph.
Yeah, they've had a little.
Cowboys?
What about the Vikings?
1 minute.
Case Keenum and Kirk Cousins?
Since 2013. No, the Vikings have had a ton of quarterbacks, dude. Get out of here. We gotta go. We gotta go quick. I thought we were close on this. I thought we had won it.
Arizona. No. Dallas?
Dak's been there for a while, but not that long. The Colts. Let's go Dallas. Final answer.
30 seconds.
What about the Florida teams? The Carolinas?
Not Miami. Not Tampa. Is it the New York Giants? The Giants. Final answer.
Yeah!
Eli and the Daniel Jones.
Yeah, the Giants are tied with 3rd. There's 3 teams left, one in the NFC North.
The Vikings?
Nope, the Lions.
Oh, Stafford into Goff.
I guess that makes sense. I just think they're so bad.
This one's surprising.
Like, yeah, how can it be so bad having the same quarterback for so long?
This one's sort of surprising because he's a younger quarterback, but he's hurt all the time. But they've had the same guy back him up multiple times. Similar style of quarterbacking.
Oh, the Ravens?
Yes.
Good call.
Tyler Huntley, Lamar.
And then the last one, I believe Ben mentioned it was the Raiders, Derek Carr into...
that would have been a good one. I don't think I heard you say that.
I said, I specifically asked you, how long was Derek Carr the quarterback?
And I just ran right by it.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, Noah and Madison. Your belief pays off. You win a 4-pack for Road America race on Saturday. Check out that 1848 coffee car there with our guy AJ, who you'll hear with Ben Brust at approximately 5:45. We're smart. That's why Noah won. Your company space can be smarter with smart spaces. What does that mean? It means that your company can help navigate the virtual world, and you're going to do it in a way that's not painful because Smart Spaces gets you the right technology for the right reasons with a listen-first culture. They learn your business's needs and provide seamless solutions for your office. It's what they do for us here at Good Karma Brands. It's what they did at our build-out at the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee, and it's incredible. They seamlessly integrated the right technology into the interior of our building, of our office. The aesthetic still shines through, and yet you walk into a room and you're a button away from connecting to whoever you need to connect to. Ties in with all of our software because we worked with Smart Spaces, and Smart Spaces does it all for you. Improve your business today at smartspaceswi.com. That's smartspaceswi.com. Jason Wilde joins us next on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Ron in the Key says, you're right, Greg. You don't always have to tell the full truth. Poopy Pants could learn here, too.
I farted in my pants recently. When I say farted, it was more than that.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
The backups continue along southbound 43 as you're making your way down past Silver Spring into the Marquette interchange. So be prepared for those delays. We've also got this accident still on the ramp from 94 eastbound to southbound 4394 in the Marquette. Westbound 94 riding the brakes right out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, with the eastbound side slowing down around 76th Street all the way to about 35th Street. And keep in mind the issue in Racine County, Highway 32, where 32 and 31 merge, right about at 6 Mile Road. We've got an accident that's got both directions closed. It's been there for a while, but they're still dealing with it. Traffic is brought to you by the Golden Mast Inn. Enjoy private gondola rides on Okauchee Lake now through August 13th. Learn more and schedule your ride at goldenmastin.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, muggy with patchy fog lakeside and a chance of storms later on, a low of 72. Then tomorrow, a chance for morning storms, then more thunderstorms likely later on, some possibly severe, a high of 86 at the lake, 91 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Jay Williams.
Now, if you're telling me that NIL specifically was only about actually product endorsements, I would say, okay, but it's not, right? You have these cohorts, these funds that are being raised by the university. It's like white labeling. Like, oh yeah, we are NIL, we are marketing, but it's really a ploy. Now, I'm not knocking that for players not to get compensated, but to me, that steers a conversation more towards employment.
Okay.
It steers it more towards players unionizing to actually have a voice to meet at the table to build some kind of construct around what this looks like. Because now if you want to put a lid on it, now we're talking about, okay, well, the players need representation for their voices to figure out what the construct around that looks like. NIL is a cover-up word. Let's be honest about it. I mean, there are certain players that will get large endorsement deals. The others are getting cohorts of funds that are being raised by university donors. That's what we're doing here.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Evans Transportation is stoked for the Milwaukee baseball playoff push. After all, they're the complete player when it comes to logistics. But instead of being a 5-tool player, Evans is the ultimate 3-tool logistics partner. When manufacturers have accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, they come to Evans. And for the record, Evans is happy to leave the stuff to the real players. They'll stick to logistics. Good luck to Milwaukee from Evans and Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com.
Show podcasts, team separate feeds, and listening live whenever, wherever. All of that in the palm of your hand. The Wisconsin On Demand app, available in the Apple or Android App Store. You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
I just need one word to get to you. So tell me now, do you want it? 'Cause these dancing feet don't cry to the rhythm they cry for you. And every Saturday night that you ain't keep my tears blue. And these blinding lights, they shine so bright like we're on the moon. I don't wanna dance another beat, no, unless it's with you.
Right now. Or does Jason's walk-up music supersede Grateful Dead Thursday?
Generally, we always allow the
I don't know if we've had Jason on a Thursday.
I don't think we've had guests on Thursday.
Last week.
Did we?
Yes.
I don't know what day. It's my favorite day when he comes on, but I don't know what day of the week it is.
And when Tausch has demanded Thursdays, I've also played Natasha Bedingfield Unwritten.
I feel like we should ask for specific Grateful Dead walk-up songs for them as well, just for when they appear on Thursday. We'll see what Jason would have to say about that as he joins us right now. Our Packers guy, you hear him every day, 9 to noon across ESPN Wisconsin. You read him at The Athletic and, of course, the Wisconsin State Journal, and hear him every week with us here on Scalzo and Brust. Jason, would you have a favorite Grateful Dead song that you'd want to be played on a Thursday when you join?
Of course I would, and it would be perfect for this show, given my long history with you two knuckleheads. What a long, strange trip it's been.
Yeah! Boy.
Thank you very much.
We'll work
if
that.
If you guys want to change my walk-up music when I'm on Thursdays, I don't know what the rules are, because I feel like at some point Tausch is going to demand a different day again, and so I'll be moving to accommodate him again. So maybe I won't have to worry about Grateful Dead Thursdays. Yeah, look, I know he listens a lot on Wisconsin On Demand, so but I would say this, whether I knew he listened or not. The dude's a genius. He's the absolute best. I love the guy. We're excited about our 7th anniversary that we're going to be celebrating. Wow. Appropriately, he's going to miss that show. But he's the absolute best, and I love to tell people the story of Craig Karmazin and Evan Cohen a few years before the show started. I was still doing Green and Gold Today, and them coming to me and asking me, if you could pick anyone on earth to do a show with, who would you pick? And I said Tausch, and I stand by that. I think I was really right on the money to make that call, and I'm glad they made it happen. And I love the guy. I'm excited he'll be back tomorrow. We've had some awesome cousin subs, but he's the straw that stirs the drink.
It's exactly how Greg tells me how he picked me as his co-host.
There you go. But that all said, it is a pain in the ass that I have to move my appearances with you guys to accommodate him.
Blame Josh.
Yeah,
Josh is in charge of all this stuff. So I want to get to Packers, because we do have to jump to a special Ben Brust interview coming up here to wrap up the show. But Packers training camp, obviously, I know we've talked about it before, but the refusal to allow video in the team sessions during practice, so we don't get to see what you get to see, Jason. What was your biggest takeaway today? It could be Jordan Love. It could not be. What do you think is the most important thing for people to know about what's happening at practice?
Yeah, and by the way, I try very hard not to complain about this job. I always remember that my dad worked in a factory for 40 years, so whatever hard labor he did, that's not what I have. So I don't like to complain a lot. But from a perspective of informing fans and engaging fans and allowing them to see what I see, I hate the fact that we're not allowed to take any of that video. So I would say there was a 2-play combination that I thought kind of sums up what we're looking at with Jordan Love here and what the ups and downs with him are going to look like. So the first play of a red zone period early in practice, he throws just a dart. I mean, it was while we were still on the air. It's a perfect strike to Christian Watson. Now, I wouldn't call it one of my wild plays because, it's still a throw that a professional NFL starting quarterback is supposed to make, but it was beautiful. I mean, it was a really good throw. In fact, it was in a tight coverage against Rasul Douglas, and Rasul was so pissed that he knocked over a trash can on the sideline. And then he had to go in and play the next play, so it's not like he had a whole lot of time to clean up the mess. The next play after that, it's all passing drills. And so the next play, Love drops back, his pass is deflected, pops up high into the air, and it's intercepted by Devondre Campbell. So, they're not going to have plays in games where on one play he's throwing a touchdown, and on the very next play from the same distance outside the end zone, he's going to throw a pick. But those are the ups and downs of being a young quarterback. And so I thought it just sort of encapsulated what we're looking at with him. He's going to have good moments. He's going to have bad ones. And I think we have to resist the urge of doing too much micro analysis of him and try to be a little more macro about it. So we've got 2 practices in. Tomorrow's going to be kind of a walkthrough speed, so there's not going to be a lot to glean out of that. Then they're going to have a full-speed practice on Saturday. Then they're not practicing at all on Sunday. And I'm told that their first in-pads practice will be Tuesday. I think by Tuesday, maybe, I don't know what your schedule is with other guests, but that might be a good day for me to talk to you guys because then we'll have all these other practices plus a padded practice to have a really good feel for kind of where he is about a week into his first training camp as the starter.
Well, if that's a great day to talk to you, then I'm sure Tausch will get in the way somehow, and it won't end up happening. But
no doubt.
But, Jason, what do you make of Matt LaFleur so far in his first training camp without Aaron Rodgers? I've seen that the offense have done some push-ups and up-downs after losing to the defense. Is he changing his approach at all?
I'll say this. He's definitely changed his approach in terms of being over-the-top, enthusiastic, and positive. Now, unfortunately for me, he has chosen to do his daily press conferences while we're on the air. So at 9:45, I'm talking to Chris Orr or Joe Thomas or Brian Bulaga or tomorrow, Mark Tauscher. And I don't get to hear him, but it's been pretty clear that his messaging has tried to be very positive because he knows that these young guys need that. Now, the competitive thing that you just mentioned, I was just writing this for my notebooks for the State Journal. I think that's really interesting, that he's wanted to inject some more competitive periods with, for lack of a better term, ramifications. And that ramification is if you lose the competitive period as a group, it's 7 plays. Yesterday was third down situations. Today it was red zone. And if you lose, you got to do some sort of calisthenic. Now, there's a joke in here somewhere, and I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it in my story, but there's a joke in here somewhere about how this feels very high schoolish, but given how young this team is, maybe that's the kind of stuff they need is high schoolish stuff, right? So it does seem a little forced, I guess, from my perspective. I've never seen the Packers do that sort of thing with a head coach, but the defense has won both competitions. So, yes, yesterday the offense at the end of practice, after they huddle up, have to drop and do push-ups. Today they had to do up-downs, and I don't think they'll do it tomorrow because it's not going to be full speed, but Saturday they'll be trying to avoid a 3-game sweep.
Talking with Jason Wilde here on Scalzo and Brust across ESPN Wisconsin. And Jason, yesterday during the show, actually, the news was broke that Aaron Rodgers took a $35 million pay cut to help the Jets build a Super Bowl winner over the next 2 years there in New York. What was your initial reaction, and why do you think he was never willing to do that in Green Bay?
My initial reaction was that I do think to some degree. I don't think it's entirely for this. But to some degree, it's a middle finger to Goody. I told that to Josh, and Josh's response, which I thought he made a fair point, was he could easily interpret that then as a middle finger to Packers fans. But I would disagree with him on that, and here's why. I think for Rodgers, I don't think it would be fair to say that he was never willing to do that for the Packers. I think what it is fair to say is he never felt like if he did it, he would get the reciprocation that he was looking for having done it. Like, I firmly believe that if they had come to him and said, look, you know, we want you to win another Super Bowl before we're done. If Goody had the humility to do that, because their communication, forget all the FaceTiming crap, it sucked. It sucked the whole time. I have to admit that I was suckered in by their claims that it was better. It was like Moneyball. It was like Brad Pitt saying, I can't get close to these guys. And so had the two of them, because Rodgers holds some responsibility here too, but if they had had a heart-to-heart of, hey, I need, if I'm Rodgers talking, look, I need some veteran guys. Like DeAndre Hopkins is on the block. If you're willing to go get him, I'm willing to restructure my contract and take less money so you can make it work. You know, and that never happened. So I don't think they ever communicated their two positions. And the bottom line is Rodgers didn't think that if he took less money, the money that he was taking out of his pocket and letting the team keep was going to go to the things that he wanted that to go to. And on the flip side, I'm not sure if Goody ever actually had that conversation to ask him if it was something he'd be willing to do. But bottom line, and I said this morning, I stand by this, if I'm going to criticize Rodgers for something contractually, he made the trade for Randall Cobb a condition of him coming back for the 21 season. Someday I'm going to ask him, why didn't you also make it a condition that they signed Devontae to a long-term contract that made him the highest-paid wide receiver in football going into the 21 season? You had them over a barrel. They knew they couldn't start Jordan Love to start the 21 season. Why didn't you use that power for that and offered, hey, you can reduce my contract in order to make it work for Devontae? I would love to get his answer to that.
I would love to hear it, Jason. Thank you as always. We've got to run, but we'll hopefully check in with you next Tuesday, Josh. I think that'll work for us.
All right, boys. Whatever works for Tausch. All right, take care. Be good.
You're the best. Thanks, Jason. Wildy and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon across ESPN Wisconsin. Benny, tell us about Water Joe.
It makes me efficient, right? It makes me so efficient in the workplace. Water Joe is so amazing because it's that 85 milligrams of caffeine. I also have the 120 milligrams of caffeine bottles. Clean, healthy energy that gets me through my day. It will get me through my day at Road America. The 4-mile road course is a lot to walk around, which means you're going to stay hydrated and you're going to have that energy you need. Love myself some Water Joe, whether it's in the workday, at the workplace, heading to basketball, got a hangover, Water Joe will be there for you. 10 for $10 at Festival Foods.
We've got some Wisconsin State Fair tickets to give away. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. We're going to give away 3 pairs of State Fair tickets. 1 to caller 4 in honor of Brett Favre. 1 to caller 8 in honor of Aaron Rodgers, and 1 caller 10 in honor of Jordan Love. 4, 8, and 10, Joshy. 2 pairs, or excuse me, 3 winners, 1 pair, 2 tickets to the State Fair. 800-990-3776. Get 800-990-ESPN. All you got to do is call in. Coming up next, we've got Ben Brust one-on-one with A.J. Allmendinger, the favorite for Saturday's race at Road America, driving the 1848 coffee car. Ben Brust, A.J. Allmendinger. Next, Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Bud Light, Scalzo, and Brust.
You stink.
Subscribe to the Scalzo and Brust podcast free on the Wisconsin On Demand app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day Weekend, Labor Day Weekend, Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
The place where you make your wildest food fantasies come true. The place where you take a ride on the iconic Giant Slide. The place where you smell all the smells? That's right. It all happens at the Wisconsin State Fair. From August 3rd through the 13th, head to State Fair Park for some summer fun. Get your tickets at wistatefair.com.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
Brian, why are you stacking books on the floor?
I want to stand while I work. Standing desks are all the rage these days.
Well, it's a good thing that these desks move up and down. You did know that, right?
What? They do?
Yeah, we're not messing around here.
This is great. Now, only if I had a chair to swivel around in.
Do you just not pay attention to everybody else's desks?
Well, no wonder I'm not getting much done these days.
Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interior.